Every single character animation you are about to see is being generated by a machine learning model in real time. There are no animation files being played back here, no blend tree, no state machine, and no animation blueprint deciding what happens next. Epic shipped this inside Unreal Engine 5.8 2 days after they announced the game animation sample was ending. They put a free sample project on Fab, and almost nobody has noticed. At the time I am recording this, it has 3 ratings. 3. It is called AnimGen, and I want you to hear what it does from the person who built it.
So what was included in the 5.8 release was basically a new plugin called AnimGen, and it allows you to build your own machine learning based interactive controllers. So
that is Daniel Holden. If you have ever used motion matching in Unreal, you have used his work. So when he says machine learning animation, this is not a startup demo. This is the engine team. And before I show you how it actually works, I need to tell you about something that is only up for a few more days. Really quick, there's a bundle from Leartes Studios that is worth your time, and I have worked with them for years. It is 98 asset packs, environments, characters, vehicles, weapons, sound effects, and their level art tools. $8,700 worth of assets for $39. I grabbed it myself. It is the first link in the description, and the code is SS80. This one is limited time, so do not sit on it. Okay, back to the plugin. So here's the part that makes this different from every other machine learning animation demo you have seen at a conference. This one, you train yourself.
This plugin lets you train your own controllers in the editor.
You bring your own animation data, your own motion capture, and you train a controller on it inside the editor on your machine. It is not a service, and you are not sending anything anywhere. And the amount of data they needed for the demo you're looking at is the part that surprised me.
We captured motion capture, about 5 to 10 minutes of motion capture in a bunch of these different styles. So all in all, we have about, if you count mirrors, we've got about 40 styles.
5 to 10 minutes of motion capture. That is it. And out of that, they get around 40 different walking styles with props all running from one controller. So the workflow is you record or bring the motion, you train it in the editor, and you end up with one controller that generates the animation while the game is running. Which brings me to the thing that I genuinely did not expect, and it is buried 2.5 hours into a live stream that 800 people watched.
That once it's trained, the actual animation data is no longer kept in memory or kept around. It's truly generating it kind of on the fly at that point.
Once the controller is trained, the animation data is gone. It does not sit in memory, and it does not ship inside your game. The model generates the poses on the fly, and that is a real trade. You stop paying for animation in memory and in disk, and you start paying for it in compute and in giving up some control over exactly what comes out. He was also clear that it is not inventing motion out of nothing. If you train it on a slow walk and a fast walk, it will give you a medium walk. Go too far outside what you trained it on and it falls apart. So they deliberately constrain it. Now what you actually get in the free sample project, there are 2 controllers in there. The first is a player controller that walks, aims, and fires a pistol. And critically, they included all of the training data for it. So you can retrain that one yourself and watch the whole process work. The second is the pre-trained NPC controller. That is the one making all of those different walking styles you keep seeing. You cannot retrain that one because the data is not included, but it is there to show you how far the system scales. And there is a full set of tutorials on the Epic developer community site walking you through it. I will put every link in the description. So the obvious question is whether you can actually ship a game with this. And I really respect the answer they gave because they did not oversell it. Daniel said they aim for production ready on performance, on memory, and on the tooling. But it is marked experimental, and that means they might break the API, they might break your data, and you should expect the occasional crash. His actual advice was to go and try one of the tutorials, see whether it fits what you are building, and if it does not, there's plenty of other stuff in the engine. Somebody in the chat also asked the question everybody is thinking: whether one day you will just write a prompt for the animation you are missing. And his answer was that he would like to see that, but that the point of these tools is to help you build the animation system you want, rather than push everyone down the same route. Which I think is the right instinct. And one last thing, because it went past almost unnoticed, and it is bigger than the plugin. Somebody asked why they are not just continuing the game animation sample in Unreal Engine 6.
Yeah, it just won't be with blueprints, actors, etc. So that's why it's kind of the last project in this format.
It just will not be with blueprints, actors, and so on. That is an Epic developer on Epic's own stream saying the next generation of their sample content is not built on actors. I covered the blueprint side of this in another video, but actors is the bigger one. Actors are the thing everything in Unreal is built on. So put the two together. The old way of doing animation is getting its final update. And on the same day, they quietly released a plugin that generates animation from a model instead of playing back files.
The best thing about it is that it's free and available to everyone right now. So I've seen for years those sort of demos in SIGGRAPH, etc. And now we get our hands on it for reals.
Free, available right now. And the kind of thing that used to only exist in research papers. Go and grab it before everyone else finds out. Links are in the description. And if you want the full breakdown of that final game animation sample update, that video is on the channel already. Subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.